Here in Roblox, and I am in what you would initially think is Rails Unlimited, but in this case, that is the exact opposite. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to High Iron. This is a new under development Roblox game being made by the user Spirit, who I believe is, in the chat here, Synthwave Spirit. He's the one who's making it among other people. Among the group of developers is Uinta50, Fluster Dev from Rails Unlimited, and a few other people I know. And speaking of which, there goes Spirit in the Florida East Coast Bicentennial Unit. Or should I say, new Bicentennial Veterans Unit, with a very nice paint scheme, I might add. So yeah, the map is under development currently. There's a few things that have been added. The game and map is being regularly updated and improved all the time, depending on, how much free time the developers and company have. But other than that, just the little bit they have been able to release has already been very impressive to me. I saw the game in my feed. I gave it a look. I quickly joined their Discord, and, well, let's just say the whole crew already knew who I was before I even asked you who they were. So it all just went from there. So, as before on Rails Unlimited's old dev team, I'm a contributor. So I've been submitting reference photography, information, blueprints, whatever I can find really concerning railroad stuff to them. I've been submitting all that stuff to them to try and help them with their modeling process. And they're like me in terms of accuracy, which is very good. How do you get in this thing? I don't know how you get in this thing. Ah, yes, here's the man of the hour, Mr. Spirit himself. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Hello. Oh, and yes, don't get me started on the sounds. The sounds are incredible. Oh. Okay, so Alt F10 increased the graphics. Interesting. I'm also trying to keep the volume down, too, as well as my voice, because, number one, we have a repairman over here trying to get my grandmother's phones fixed, so I don't want to hamper his work. Oh. Interesting. Yep. Oh. Oof. Well, I can't use that. What I can use, though, is this. Now, since this game is under development, there's a lot of stuff like scenarios and contracts that have not been added yet. As for the rolling stock, the same thing. There is not really a lot there just yet, but all of that is coming. So for right now, in terms of the game, when you first join, after paying, I think, 25 Robux, I think is the cost to get in. Once you join, you've got 4 steam engines, a relatively high diesel roster, which is impressive, of various roads, most of them Western or Midwestern roads, but you got a few East Coasters like B&O, Chassis System, Western Maryland. There's nothing in electric yet, nothing in premium or rewards, but yeah, in terms of steam, you've got a 464, an 040, 482, and an 060. Diesel, you've got a Whitcomb switcher, the GP40, 2 GP40s. Okay, scratch that. I think most of these are GP40s in this particular model, but this is the GP40-2. You got an Alco RS2, So you got 4 Alcos, 3 to 4 GP40s, and 1 GP40-2. And what's interesting is, unlike Rails Unlimited, this shows not only the model, but the real-life unit that inspired the digital model, and also gives you specifications and information about the locomotives. Though, one little critique I have, given that a lot of these are now in museums, and this is something that is more of a suggestion on my part, Spirit, and that's if you're watching or able to listen in. I love what you have here in terms of the specifications and the information, but given that I'm a history buff, I'm just curious to see, if a similar locomotive in each class or each roster was able to be preserved. Like, I know Western Pacific, there's a few of their SD40s in preservation, a few Alcos in preservation, but I'm curious if, like, say this unit was preserved, or this one, or this one, or this one, etc. Like, I know these 2 roads have units of this type in preservation, same with this. Most of these do, actually. It's just, I'm just curious if some of that could be potentially included in the info box here to the right. If not, that's fine, but if so, great. And knowing how I speak sometimes, I am going to likely, excuse me a second. Sorry, I had to yawn. Now, I was going to say, given how I speak, I may have to rephrase that later and repeat it. So if you guys wonder why I'm stumbling over, well, now you know. One thing I like, as somebody who's interested in railroads and the models it's seen, is the detail. Like, I love the little details. Like, I don't recall Rails Unlimited having whistle post signs on the track side. I don't recall them having the electronic switches, which I have photos of now, since I went to Saluda. Some of these still exist along the railroad right-of-way in Saluda. Same thing with the switch stands, though some of the flags are gone. Yeah, most of the switch stands I've photographed actually still have the Bethlehem steel-forged switch handle. They don't have the proper handle rod like this. So I think that'd be neat to maybe have some spurs that have the older Bethlehem steel-style switch rod on them. Maybe the taller flag mast, maybe with a few lanterns to be safe. Nah, oh well. But yeah, I know a lot of you are probably going to say, this game's like Rails Unlimited, there's nothing different. Well, I think I've already noted some differences. Or have I? First off, let me get one of the locomotives, seeing as I've seen this one in preservation. Well, you guys know what I'm going to do. Let me rephrase that, since my mind decided to blank out. And going into the steam category, again, like the diesels, they have information and specs on the locomotives. Seeing as I've seen 1522 in person up in St. Louis, I'm going to go with that to give an example of the drive capabilities. There we go. So 1522 is spawned. Now, first off, look at the difference in detail. Compare... Well, yes, I know 1522 is broken at the moment, Spirit. I'm using this as a mere example. Pay it no mind. First off, I want you guys to note the engine is more or less to scale, so what you see here, comparing the player height to, say, the height of the drive wheels and the rest of the engine, that's accurate to real life. This thing towers over you. And another thing to note, detail-wise, is compare this version of 1522 to the model in Rails Unlimited. The amount of detail on this is incredible. And it runs beautifully. I've tested it when it was operable earlier. And what I mean by earlier, I mean a few days to a week ago. Ran beautifully. So right now 1522 is out of action, given the fact that it's needing some repairs. So, we'll just have this beauty on display. And I will get another locomotive. I'll go with something small. preferably a shop switcher. Now, I believe, now I could be wrong, Spirit, I think you can chat on my YouTube thing. If you go to my channel, Railroad Preserver 2000, you should be able to join the stream and chat on the live chat. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this locomotive here still exists. I think most of these still exist. That'd be interesting. You're fine, Spirit. Yeah, I think this shop switcher, or shop goat as they're called, still exists. I think it's over in a roundhouse that's been restored, and the engine itself is being restored. I forget the place, but it's out in either Nebraska or Wyoming, and I know Toyman Television visited the roundhouse, and they're actually restoring this shop switcher to operation. Now, that's alright, Spirit. So, let's spawn it in, and I'll show you guys the drive mechanics. So here we go. Here's 442, an 060 shop switcher. If you remember seeing the film Last of the Giants, you'll see this engine moving other UP motive power as big as the 4000 class and 3900 class. That's the big boys and challengers. For those who are more familiar with the nicknames. Yeah, one other thing I will say is getting into these things is a little bit finicky sometimes. But here's the major difference compared to Rails Unlimited. You have a full operation GEI right here. For controls, you got one for the whistle, quilling the whistle, bell. Could probably add something concerning cylinders and maybe a blow-off valve of some kind, but that's just me. You got swap. Oh, well, never mind. They already read my mind. Scratch that, then. So, yeah, you've got... So, W increases the power. S shuts it down. A releases the brakes. D engages them. I don't know what Q does. R... Let's see. Hitting R twice on the keyboard engages forward and reverse, so tap once, that goes to reverse. Hitting it twice goes to forward, so it's literally... Oh no, it's not like the whistle code, never mind. Because reverse is 3 times on the whistle, forward is twice. Okay, and then you've got camera views. I think you have to click on those. So you got driver, front, rear, so that's the tender view. And then the drive rod shot, which is like every Railfan's version of, I guess, eye candy. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, these views are fixed, meaning you don't have to worry about losing your cinematic shot. So, let's do this then, shall we? Okay, so... Oh, that's the headlight. So those are the headlights right there, the front and rear headlights. Front marker lights for the engine. I'll engage those, and cylinders, because that'd be accurate. There we go. Bell, of course, is B. H and J, I believe, are for the horn. I don't know about the... I don't know what you do to disengage the cylinders. Maybe C? Nope. C does not disengage the cylinders. Okay. Okay, so you can click the bell on, but if you hit B, you can control it. Right, let's disengage the brakes. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Okay. I don't know what I just did there. I just hit space and the whole GUI disappeared. Okay, that might need to be worked on. Oh, wait, nope, there it goes. It's back again. Alright, gonna hit this. Gonna hit U to forward. I'm going to have to click that. Let's try this again, shall we? So, A for the brakes off. One thing that would need to be done, if possible, because the chuff sound is like an engine running at like 20 or 30 miles an hour. Each chuff could be synchronized to the movement of the wheels and cylinders, which would be a lot slower, but that's just me. As you can tell, we're not going very fast unless I do this. Of course, then again, it's also a shop switcher, so it's not going to be fast. And then if you click this off, well, then you got your free view. But look at how fluid this model is. I mean, look at how detailed. So major props to Uinta50, creator of not just this model, but also, I believe, Rails of DG County. And I don't know if the general person who works on logging through the depression is involved in this, but if they are, oh boy, imagine. And this game, unlike Rails Unlimited, also has a consist manager, meaning you can create your own train consist if you want. Whether or not that's with multiple cars or individual, I don't know. Now, here's the fun part about the emergency brakes. I forget which button engages them. Let's just hit it. You get sparks. Oh, and that's interesting. So if you try to hit R, sometimes it won't reverse until you do this. Okay. Alright, there's the switch, and I like that the flags change to indicate the switch direction has changed. That's a nice detail that I don't believe Rails Unlimited ever bothered to add in. See, I love little details like that, and I love that you can even control the marker lights. That's nice. Murphy's Law, the minute I turn the markers off. There's the safety valve. Oh gosh. Oh yes. Oh yes, that's right. And if you don't stop or slow down to couple up, this happens. Great. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Whoops. Well, there's a botched switch job. Yeah, there's a... Obviously, as you can tell, there's a few things that need some merits. In other words, teething troubles, I guess. Like, one thing is how do you get in and out of this thing? All I know how to get in and out of it... Let me rephrase that. My brain decided to die there. Okay, so now I can't get into the engine, so I've got to delete it. But I think you get the gist of this. So, yeah. Also, I love the searchlights. I love the searchlights. Oh yeah, speaking of derailments. I love I just say that in the background and then this happens. Oh, okay, we also have... Oh. Anybody want a, Hey, Spirit, did you order that Alco extra... yo, Spirit, you order that Alco well done? Or what, did you order it toasted? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyways, I like the rolling stock, first off. Medium rare. Yo, bud, could you keep some of the rolling stock? I want to try and look at it for a minute if possible. Oh, well, never mind. Oof, okay. You're good, man. Well, here we have some Montana Rail Link box cars, a new fallen flag since it's been acquired by BNSF. Go figure. Yeah, I love that they have all the details like the load limit, LT limit. I forget what the LT limit stands for, but anyways. Montana Rail Link and the number code for the box car. And now this shows you when the car was manufactured, when it was last rebuilt, and all that. I think that'd be interesting to stencil like maybe the year the car was modeled in the game on. And then maybe each time it's updated, that could count as a rebuild date. That'd be an interesting little secret detail. But yeah, at the moment we're in Red Rock. It's a desert map. So also, unlike Rails Unlimited, where you have multiple biomes and multiple locations all in the same map, I believe, and Spirit can correct me on this in this stream's comments or live chat, I believe each biome is going to be its own respective map or layout. Like Red Rock, it'll be its own desert map. Places in the Midwest, East Coast, all that stuff will be its own map. And here we got a CSX grain hopper. I've seen these more times than I can count. Probably a former Family Lines or Seaboard System car. But I love the attention to detail with this. I love it. Then we have a chassis system boxcar, hopper car. I had to correct myself. With B&O markings, reporting marks. Some of the build code info right here is missing, but that's fine. But I love the detail, and I love that this is mostly to scale. Like, if you go to a real-life hopper car of this size, it is going to tower over you like this. Now, I've never heard of this company before. It's out in Iowa. I've never been to Iowa, so I really don't know what that looks like. But, while I'm not a fan of the pink color, well, breast cancer is the only exception. That's the only time I think I would ever wear pink, and this counts. This counts. I kind of wonder if this company actually painted their fleet pink in recognition of that, you know, to show support. Oh, owned by GE. Go figure. Imagine that, a locomotive builder owning hopper cars. But now, I was just going to say, Ralston Jefferson, if y'all wanted to paint a few of your cars to support breast cancer awareness, that'd be a good way of doing it. Y'all already have a pink fleet. I think all it needs is the ribbon, right? I don't know, just an idea. Also, I love these old-style crossbucks. You do not see these anymore. I think the only old-school crossbuck of this design that I have seen, period, in preservation, is actually at the Rayburn County Historical Society in Clayton, Georgia. It's an old Tallulah Falls crossing that someone had the foresight to save. Because there is very, very little left of that railroad in terms of physical remnants. Save for Cornelia, Demorest, Clayton. That's the only places you can still find traceable evidence of it. And here's one of the more toll... This is one of the toller switch stands that I've photographed in the past, down here. Okay, I love the animation for that. Of course, one thing that is missing, though, is the rod that connects from the switch mechanism into the track. I know that's impossible to model, obviously, much less animate, but I think that'd be interesting to include on maybe like a spur or a branch or something. Maybe like there's a disconnected switch or something that still has all the hardware in place. I don't know. It's just an idea, I guess. A more modern crossing, quote-unquote, with the wigwag signal. Last one of these was actually retired recently, about 2 or 3 years ago. Nice to see that they've preserved him here. Of course, I have seen I have seen 2-lane roads where the lane on each side that had the signals in the center as well as on the sides, but I could be wrong on that. Then we have a interlocking tower. Be interesting to maybe model one to have an interior so you can see the interlocking machine, you know, the levers and the interlocking computer, etc. We have an NPC who I don't know, who is clearly not following company regulations. I don't believe a 80s cassette is allowed on your person while on the clock, buddy. Better put that away before some manager comes around. You might be fired. Then we have a double-track diamond here and a single track here, along with a few turning Ys here and here, respectively. And here's Delco Junction Station. Now, I don't know if the town is fictional or if it's based on a real place, but I've seen similar depots and photos that have this sort of Spanish architecture. So this could be a former Santa Fe style depot, if I'm not mistaken. And you also have a crossover track here going right in the middle of town. And yes, downtown a la Main Street. Nice looking Main Street. Of course, knowing modern day, you'd have tons of awful looking urban sprawl pretty much encroaching it, which is unfortunate. Got a rail fan here with a camera set up. Decent lens. Hold on one second. Sorry, y'all, I'm back. My grandmother needed me to help move her bed because the phone thing was installed up here. But anyways, Spirit, I don't know if you're still listening in on the stream, but my grandmother and I are actually going to be heading up to Madison, Georgia in about 20 or so minutes. The reason is actually so I can get more in-depth reference photography of the railroad infrastructure and buildings and whatnot for this game. It's more reference photography for y'all. And, well, to be perfectly honest, I don't remember the last time I've actually been to Madison. So this gives me a chance to go back, photograph anything new, or re-photograph stuff that I've photographed in the past. So Yes. Also, one other thing. Y'all may want to put a Doppler effect on that diamond sound effect because where I'm standing, you would not be able to hear it that clearly. I'm just saying. I could be wrong on that. Of course, the only example I have is Cordeal, but I digress. Well, not Cordeal, no, Hamlet. Hamlet 2 has a diamond, I forgot. Oh! Oh, yes, that's... that's something I forgot about, was Hamlet. And we have the man switching into Santa Fe Alco RS2. Hopefully this doesn't go wrong. Or will it? Let's see. I might just commit some lunacy. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I can't... Dang it! I can't hack it! I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Mission failed. Mission failed. Hey, yeah, there's also a, another thing, Spirit. I don't know if any of the locomotives have a way for two people to ride in them, is there? Or is that just not possible? Not yet. Okay, so that's coming. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I keep stumbling over my words, y'all. And I like that you don't end up necessarily phasing through the buildings, save for like one or two spots. Yeah, oh well. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot, because, yeah, there is a consist creator. I forgot about that. I checked out the locomotives, it's GUI. Since I'm just rushed for time, I normally am not the best on this. Okay, so yeah. You can create your own consist, like with each car. Like if you wanted to do your own train consists, here you go. You got various tank cars, box cars, gondolas, and hoppers. Of course, you don't have the specialty cars yet, like the high and wides, the flat cars, the log cars, the center beams, etc., etc., etc. I mean, that's all going to come, obviously. It's just going to take time to model it and to model it accurately. Now, that's one issue I noticed people having with Rails Unlimited and why that game is more or less stalled out. Everybody outside of the development team was pretty much demanding them to make something or release something quick. And as such, there were bugs, there was inconsistencies in terms of the accuracy and the detail, and just a whole bunch of things. And to those people, I say this. When you're trying to do a game kind of like Rails Unlimited or even this, auxiliary water tender for 1522 and his passenger consist there. Look, you're gonna just need to give the developers time, okay? Because, I mean, to be honest, when I look at a digital train game like this, I see it almost as the Railfan equivalent of, like, Titanic, Honor, and Glory, okay? You're going to need to take time on this. You're going to need to give the developers time to do their research, to do the modeling, to perfect the modeling, to test it, to bug test it, etc., etc., etc. Only then... only once all that testing, modeling, and checking and rechecking and all is done, and once the debug and glitches are fixed and done, only then can they really release it. I mean, good example, 1522 here. It's had a service basically needing a digital overhaul, and, if everyone outside of the development team kept demanding, oh, we want 1522, blah, 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 this would probably have to come out bugged and it would never get fixed. So the fact Spirit and the other devs have this on their priority, that's good. And well, yeah, as he says right here, in fact. I mean, I'll say this, Spirit. I mean, the key, though, is to make sure all those bugs are reported so that, y'all can get a heads up on them so that, they can be fixed. That's the key. Because a lot of times, people just don't bother reporting the bugs. So I'm glad that, a few people do. But anyways, yeah, one thing thank you. And I will say this, in terms of, like, you know, what is this? Area is occupied by what? Oh, that's interesting. I will say this, Spirit. I tried to spawn a little 040 and it won't spawn it in because the hoppers are in the area. That's weird. Let me try this again. Maybe there's a range to it. No, there's not. Okay. And I just got ran into, and I just got hit by a train. Wonderful. You could have warned me, buddy. Anyways, we got Alco RS2 2099 here. I'm going to be like 100 when this thing's number shows up on a calendar. God, I mean, if I even lived that long, like, what are the odds? Ooh, I just realized. Spirit, if y'all actually managed to model... okay. But if you wanted to do your own contest, will that still be allowed in the game? Because I would love that. And the reason is because of some of the trains that were run down in the southern states. Like, for instance, Georgia Railroad, they actually ran mixed freight and passenger trains up until the 1980s. And I think they were one of only a few railroads left to actually do it. Uh-oh. Welp, I'm dead. I just walk off the edge. And I'm dead. Rip. Anyways. But yeah, in terms of the game overall, as for, in terms of a starting thing, this is already looking impressive. And the playability is already impressive too. Granted, of course, I'm on the developer map, so what you see in the developer map may not be in the main game just yet. Alright, well, there's Spirit there. So, yeah. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling over my words here. This was kind of a spur of the moment idea I had, so I may actually redo this stream at a later date. Preferably when maybe me and Spirit and a few of the devs are in like a voice call or something, so that maybe I'm not getting stuff inaccurate, So, but yeah, until then, I'm probably going to call it here. Because, like I said earlier, I do need to get ready to go to Madison to do more reference work, photography work for this game. Oh, and also, I don't think this was intended, but for a minute I thought this was a reference to the late Railfan and Railroad editor, Jim Boyd. He is, if any of you have some old Mark I video DVDs, you'll know who I'm talking about. So yeah, I think I'll leave it here, and if I'm able to, I will be trying to redo this stream sometime later today or this evening, to where hopefully I'm not stumbling over my words, and am not sounding like an absolute idiot. So, Spirit, I hope maybe we can talk properly then, and yeah, I think I'll call it here. So I will see y'all later. Oh my God.